Hey, everybody. So I wanted to talk about this kind of experience I've had and just check in with you if you feel like commenting after the video underneath about this thing called breadcrumbing. I'm just learning about this. I had this experience, this relationship with a person who I was, determined to help, bring kind of words to them and help them with various different things. But very near to the very beginning of this dynamic, when I connected with them, they kind of brought up this whole thing about, who they listing off all the famous people they knew and, suggesting that we do certain things together. And I wasn't attached to doing them. I thought it'd be fun, but I wasn't there looking for that. I just wanted to kind of volunteer. And it was interesting. And then, she kind of never got back to me on it when it's, so I would sort of put a few things in place to make it happen and then never hear back. I would ask what's going on, would never hear back. And I made up sort of a story. This is how confirmation bias goes, right? Like I made up a story in my head that the reason this person didn't get back is because they found out for various reasons they couldn't do it, but they were embarrassed to tell me. It was a story I told myself. It's amazing how confirmation bias lives itself out in us. But then it went on, like there was the more of that. And then there was this one event where the person emailed to me something that her partner, her husband, was doing that was like basically the same kind of idea and concept and name essentially of something I had already done. So it would appear that the idea had come from me, which is fine. I didn't really care. But in the same email was also an offer to do something with me that was sort of publicly significant. And I didn't even notice it at the time because I was so excited about that opportunity because that felt really healing for me as in terms of me and where my family came from, that I didn't care about the fact that, my idea was not getting, let's say, properly credited. And I could feel in both of these examples, maybe this is what I'm asking you about. I could feel this like little rumbling inside saying, I don't know, right? Like something's wrong. I'm getting worked. Am I getting worked? Is this what it is to be worked? This is a very unique way of being. I've never been worked like this before. And then there were various other things that left me wondering. I would help out and then the person would put up a post of something of mine. And I thought, oh, well, that's nice. It's like appreciation. And I'm like, is that what that is? Or is it something else? Some other way of, I don't know, potentially ensuring that I'm so satisfied that I don't share any of it with the world. So to make a long story short, now I've arrived at this place where I'm unpacking what was like a 4-year long relationship, one where various things occurred after my various efforts to disconnect. And it has taken me a long time to sort this out. And I have no doubt that 6 months from now, I'll have a much deeper understanding of what I went through. But what I'm understanding from the languaging of, people who've talked to me about narcissism and other things is that this is called breadcrumbing, where you just get like a little to pull you, a little to get something from you. They don't do it for you. They're doing it for them. And it's indirect and it's gamesy and it's in this case was completely unnecessary, but that's another story for another day. And it feels shitty. Like it's a real, once you begin to understand that that's probably what's going on, it really feels shitty to be breadcrumbed and rather than to be dealt with respectfully, with dignity. And I'm just at the beginnings of understanding, and owning my part in it, not my part in the breadcrumbing, but my part in having this kind of confirmation bias that prevented me from really giving breath to the voice inside of me that was saying, I don't know about this. This doesn't feel quite right. What's that person really up to? Any of you have experience with this thing called breadcrumbing? And with the experience of being so bought in for often for very good reasons, very heartfelt reasons, that you ignore the signs of breadcrumbing, recharacterize it as something positive because it would just feel so unbearable at that stage, at least in that dynamic, to acknowledge that maybe you're being worked in all kinds of ways that that person probably has worked other people. I mean, it now I look back on it, it seems like sort of a patterned way of operating. Um, but because I don't think I've ever been breadcrumbed, I just didn't really know. I didn't really understand what was happening, except on a very subterranean level. Do you know what I mean?